Alexis Lafreniere, Artemi Panarin, Will Cuylle? Okay, there have been a number of discussions that we have had on this YouTube channel talking about the Montreal Canadiens and the potential of them either acquiring French-Canadian Alexis Lafreniere or one of the top UFAs to be Artemi Panarin. There also were some other conversations indicating the supposed lack of willingness between the Habs and the Rangers to ever make a trade with each other. Because of the entire Jeff Gorton situation, you can debate that there might be some bad blood there, and ultimately it could prevent any talks from going through. But that doesn't stop Eric Engels from going out there onto the Sick Show with Tony Marinaro, Sick Podcast, excuse me. Hey, it's great because I'm sick right now, if you couldn't already tell from my voice. And talking about Rangers forward Will Cuylle potentially being the guy to target. Let's go out there and talk about the profile first, and then we will dive into Cuylle and what Eric Engels had to say about him. He's 23 years old, 6'3", 212, left-handed guy who plays on either wing. Signed on till the end of 2027, making $3.9 million a year. It is a short 2-year contract, but Will Cuylle was drafted by the Rangers 5-6 years ago, 60th overall. So, considering the fact that he's 23, this is a pretty sizable deal for him early on in his NHL career. Cuylle this season has 25 points in 52 games played. He is on pace for 39 points over a full 82. Last year, he had scored 45 points and 20 goals, which obviously is better than the season he is having now. It's not surprising, the Rangers are worse this year. JT Miller has gotten that entire franchise in shambles. And if the Rangers are going to go down some sort of a retool path, maybe a guy like Will Cuylle is an option. Who really knows? The scouting report on Cuylle says this: he is one of the most naturally gifted one-touch scorers in the 2020 draft. Put the puck on his stick, and he'll do the rest. Cuylle is a technically gifted shooter. He's got so much upper body strength, and he puts it to good use, generating quick-release wrist shots and shots that explode off his stick's blade. Now, the really funny part about Cuylle is that if you head over to the Elite Prospects Scouting Report Draft Guide PDF file that they have here on the website, it literally says on the front that Will Cuylle is a do not draft kind of guy. I don't like to showcase paywalled material, but I guess for this point it's like, hey, the scouting report is 6 years old, so what's the harm in that? But if you take a look at it, I mean, they straight up say, do not draft this guy. And then it says at the bottom, why is his status in this draft guide do not draft? Let's start with the most concerning element, his lack of scoring instincts. It's one thing to have a blistering wrist shot, but it's another entirely to put oneself in the position to wield it effectively. They say on Elite Prospects that Cuylle was a stationary goal scorer, and I guess you could say that might have been fair back for 2020. I don't know if that's necessarily true nowadays, though. Anyways, let's go out there and read about what Eric Engels said on the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro earlier last week. He spoke about how Will Cuylle is the number one guy he would go after if he were Kent Hughes. This HabsFanatics.com article has the transcript as to what Eric Engels said. If I were Kent Hughes, I would want to know what the Rangers' intentions are, and not for Panarin, and not for Lafreniere, but for a player that I think they have on their team that would be the best possible guy that the Canadiens could get for this year and moving forward. I'm not sure the Rangers are even willing to listen on this player, but for me, Cuylle is the number one guy I would go after if I were Hughes. He's big, he's strong, and I think he plays on the top 9, which is perfect. But I also think he's got the potential to move up into the top 6. I think what he brings is exactly the player that the Canadiens would need in a specific portion of their lineup. And that's why you're hearing about Blake Coleman or Kiefer Sherwood. I think Cuylle is just a younger version of that. I think the Canadiens are in a position of strength to be able to do something like that without giving up necessarily their best prospects to do it either. So I'm just saying, I would be power dialing. I would be. What do you want? And we can make it work. And potentially, you're dealing away a guy like Bolduc as a part of that package. So already we are talking about the idea of a Zachary Bolduc trade. This guy was just acquired by the Montreal Canadiens earlier last year. And now, is he trade bait again? I don't know, man. I don't know. Zach Bolduc was pretty decent to open up the season with the Canadiens. He currently has 19 points in 52 games played. He's on pace for about 30 points over the full 82, on pace for about 16 goals. It's not great, but when you think about the upward potential here, how he started out, obviously you want to think about the goal scoring and the power play excellence that he had to open up this season and say, yeah, this guy was on pace for 82 goals at one point this season. You obviously hope that the production can carry itself forward from there. But unfortunately for Zachary Bolduc, his ice time has been dwindling. He's getting some 10-minute games in there, a lot of 11-minute games. He hasn't scored a goal since December 23rd. It's been a long time, and his goal per game rate is going down by the day. Obviously, this is not a player who has had the most linear of progressions in the Montreal Canadiens lineup. But obviously, we understand that the skill is there. It's just a question as to whether or not he can produce at a 5v5 capacity and be able to consistently give numbers. In a way, I see similarities to the way Bolduc plays and what Patrik Laine was able to do last year. Although, of course, Patrik Laine had a lot bigger moments than Bolduc has had so far as a member of the Canadiens. But if the Rangers want somebody who is kind of like Brennan Othmann, but better, Zachary Bolduc can be your guy. I just question whether or not Will Cuylle really is a target that is realistic here. I don't know if the Rangers are interested in trading anybody to the Montreal Canadiens, and I don't know if Will Cuylle would be an option. Seems like New York really values guys that are hard son-of-bees to play against. Guys like JT Miller, who have that sort of physical edge to their game. Will Cuylle definitely has that, which is why Eric Engels is saying he should be a Montreal Canadiens target. So with all that said, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this Will Cuylle conversation, and do you think a trade for Zachary Bolduc is the answer here? The Habs have a few options, but is this the right way to go? Article is going to be linked in the description if you want to go out there and read this Habs Fanatics piece yourself, dive more into the quotes from Eric Engels and Will Cuylle. But for now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.